Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. It's the top of the morning. I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, we are 4 more days. 4 more days. You heard it right. That USC is getting ready to take the field on Sunday against the LSU football Tigers. Listen, it's go time. You guys already know I am getting antsier by the day, more and more every time I just begin to think about this. I told somebody yesterday that I'm beginning to get a little antsy. I'm beginning to get to a point to where, you start kind of not being able to sleep. It's kind of starting to get like that. Some say nervousness. I got a little nervousness inside, but I think it's a good nervousness inside. I think it's a more of an anticipation type of deal when you're talking about this game getting ready to come up. This is very exciting. It's sold out. Tickets have been sold. $2,200, I think, at the most. I mean, it's incredible. A lot of people are talking about this game, and a lot of people are expecting this game to be a big-time game. So we got a couple of news and note items as it relates to the game that we want to touch on. One is the offensive lineman, I believe his name is Will Campbell. He made a kind of incredible statement that I think kind of filled Bear Alexander, and we'll talk about that. But also, the captains were named last night. Several people, we were texting back and forth. They were saying, Jay, where the captains at? Where the captains? What's going on with that? And yes, the captains were named, but it's done a different way. Also, the depth chart hasn't been released as of now. You guys know I usually record the night before, and the depth chart still hadn't been released. And here's the thing I was having a conversation with somebody about, and I kind of wanted the depth chart out. I wanted to see what was what, but here's the thing. There is no, as far as I know, there is no requirement for the depth chart to actually be out, right? You could put it out maybe, I guess, a couple of hours before if they wanted to. And I think Lincoln Riley, just based on giving out any type of information, Lincoln Riley is very secretive, if you will, anyway, when you're talking about just information, period. That's why, he says that, he has to close practices and he has limited access to practices. And when he did have access to practices, just like a couple of weeks ago, nobody was able to say anything that happened in practice. No information was given out. And I think he's strategic about that. One is, this game is so important. This game, it's like a boxing match. It's like, a chess match. You never want to show your hand. You got to let your next move be your best move. And I really feel like Lincoln Riley, he's approaching this game like that. I don't think he wants to share any information with anybody, even though we've seen Brian Kelly. He's been up talking. He's been talking about injuries, and he's been talking about a couple of different things. And by the way, as it relates to injuries, we look like we're good to go as far as that. As from what Lincoln Riley said, no injuries. No, anybody that had injuries, they're up and rolling. They're moving and grooving. So I think we're going to be, we're very, very fortunate. The only one was Malachi Crawford, the cornerback, that he's out for the year. And I think that might have been like an Achilles or something. So, and Malachi Crawford wasn't a starter, but we still wish him the best. But that's, this is pretty much what it is, man. I think that USC's in some good shape as it relates to that. And so I don't think Lincoln Riley wants to show his full hand. And what's crazy is that I've watched different LSU podcasts. I've been on a couple. Well, I've been on one podcast last night. And, it just depends on which one you go on. A lot of people are not as familiar with the roster. Now, the guy Carter, he's familiar with the roster. But some are not familiar with the roster like you would think they are. Because when they make reference to the wide receivers, they only touch on Deuce Robinson, Zach Branch, and that's pretty much it. They don't really touch on Mekhi Lemons or Jay Fair, Kyron Ware-Hudson. Most of them don't know the roster like that. So I think with the limited information that some have, I think that Lincoln Riley wants to kind of keep everything on the wraps. I understand it. So, look, we don't need to – look, it's not going to hurt us anyway. I mean, we don't have the depth chart. We just don't have the depth chart. Now, as it relates to the captains, that was actually introduced yesterday. And these are the guys that you got to have. You got Miller Moss, a captain, which is expected. You got Jonah Monheim, that's a captain. You got Kyron Hudson, that's a captain. You got Isis Mascherano Arnold, that's a captain. That's selected as a captain. And then, of course, you got Akili Arnold. However, the captains are being done a little bit different. There are no season-long captains like it was last year, like it has been the past couple of years. Now, what is the reason behind that? Possibly because you want to keep those guys hungry. Everybody's not guaranteed a position. And here's what I think, too. When you listen to guys like Doug Belk said he's going to be rotating a lot of cornerbacks in and out, cornerbacks, defensive backs, all the defensive back guys. I think that they're going to be switching so many guys out. I'm not sure if they really even going to settle in on a particular unit until maybe the mid part of the season, third or fourth game of the season. They don't, who knows? It may keep these guys hungry. So there's several different reasons, several different theories that could be taking place, but there are no captains that are guaranteed for the whole season. And I think that's kind of where it is as it relates to that. Now, let's move on to this Bear Alexander thing. Bear Alexander, he got, I think it kind of lit something under him, some fire under him yesterday. And this was a tweet that was put out by LSU's offensive lineman, and his name is Will Campbell. And this was the comments that he made. I'm going to play it. I'm not going to play it on here, but I'm going to play it right here so you can hear it for obvious reasons. I don't want anybody coming back talking to me about any copyright stuff, so I'll play it on here. I'm not going to play it on there. I don't even have it on there. So, but listen to this, man. Listen to what Will Campbell had to say, and we could talk about that real quick. Listen to this. This is what he had to say in reference to the LSU game and what they're planning on doing. Listen to this. If I can get it rolling here, let's see. I'm playing the wrong one. Okay, here we go.
We know what we're there for. We're not there to go to Caesar's Palace. We're there to go get in a fist fight, and everybody in this building knows it, and that's just what it is. We know what we're there for. We're not there to go to Caesar's Palace. We're there to go get in a fist fight, and everybody in this building knows it, and that's just what it is.
So Will Campbell, the big offensive tackle for LSU, he said they're not there to go to Caesar's Palace. They're there to get a fist fight. And as you see here at the top of this is Bear Alexander's Twitter page. And Bear actually posted this on his Twitter page. He retweeted it because I guess he didn't like what he said. Now, look, anything, and you hear me out clear, anything that's going to light the field to a guy like Bear Alexander, please continue, say more, because I want them to actually bulldoze those guys. I mean, just run all over and run through them. And I think that they're looking at it from, and we got to understand this. This is years and years and years. We know this. We talked about this. I've been on other podcasts. This is years and years and years worth of history. And I'm sure some of their family passed this down, even though Will Campbell is a younger guy. But years and years worth of history of co-championships, all this different stuff, 2003, 2004. They felt like we shouldn't have been a part of that. We felt like they should have been a part of it. And then now you get in an SEC school, a Big Ten school. And you guys know a lot of people hate USC all over the country. And, you know, we heard what a major podcaster said the other day. We're a bunch of soft guys on the West Coast, right? That's what he said. And so that's adding fuel. So they're giving all kinds of little nuggets, all kinds of little bullet board material to really put some fuel on the USC. And I think, man, and I'm hoping that USC is going to absolutely come out there and move and groove. And as I stated, I was on an LSU podcast last night. As I stated, I said the question was asked to me, what do I think LSU's weakness is? And I told them absolutely it's going to be their secondary going up against our wide receivers. I think that our wide receivers are some of the best in the country. And as I stated, our wide receivers are not known. We got multiple guys. And I think the way Lincoln Riley uses those receivers and the way he moves the balls down the field, I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for the secondary, provided that we get that proper penetration from a guy like Bear Alexander. I think it's going to be go time. And I think we're kind of in a Louisville type situation where everybody, some are saying that they're going to beat us, they're going to put it on us. I think we're in a similar type situation with this particular game, man. So you guys can hit me in the comments. I think we're going to come out, we're going to be blazing. And but I do think it's going to be a fight. But I think as the fight goes on, I think we're going to be too much. That's just my opinion. My score, I still haven't changed it. I said I was going to alter it maybe, but I just can't move from this 41-28. I'm sticking with that. And so you guys can hit me in the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. But I really feel like USC is going to move and groove in this football game, man. You guys already know I got the sunglasses on because the future is bright. So hit me in the comments, man. What are you guys' thoughts on this game, man? I got 41-28, man. You guys can drop those scores in there. Let me know what it is, man. And look, we're talking LSU all week long, man. We can't move away from this. It is really go time, man. Hit me in the comments. It's only popping. It's only cracking. Hit me in the comments. You guys already know where you can find me. It's going to be USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. Until later on, everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.